Mixed Tag Show.
The Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna
and Blue.
Damn.
Now, here's your host,
Jenna and Blue Magic.
You're listening and watching the Mixed Tag Show with Jenna and Le Blue.
Oh, so he's gonna take the whole line by yourself?
Yeah.
That's what we're doing now.
Let's start off the show. Yeah.
But
I didn't even
yeah.
Whatever. It's okay.
All right, that's how we're doing it now. It's cool.
No, it's not how we're doing it.
It's okay. It's okay. Go ahead. You got it.
Let me do the whole show.
No, you good. You good. Go ahead.
The whole show.
Yep. Go ahead. You got it.
I like your shirt.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Courtesy of the WWE shop.
There you go. How you doing?
Doing all right in yourself.
Okay. It's a little weird week, right?
Yeah, it's been a weird week in wrestling in general.
Yes, I'm extremely tired though. It was definitely an eventful week, so.
Why are you tired? Alley-oop.
There you go. Boom. Well, we went to SmackDown. Shout out to Nerds Clothing for hooking us up.
Yeah.
You want to give them applause?
Little
They hooked us up with some SmackDown tickets because SmackDown was in Newark, New Jersey.
Not my
Hometown, but your home state.
My home state.
They were repping.
Yeah.
Right? So.
Yeah.
They looked out for us, and we had a grand old time, and we hung out, and I had to get up early, super, super early for work.
Right. Shout out to Ren Thomas, too. He was with us.
Yes, Ren Thomas is a dope MC.
Yeah. Might see him on the show.
Yeah, he got a really dope wrestling freestyle that I think a lot of old heads would appreciate.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, they definitely showed us a good time, so we had fun. Unfortunately, I had to sacrifice my sleep. But, as they say, YOLO. Well, they don't really say that anymore, but.
Yeah, they don't say
Yeah,
that
well, I'm a little dated. It's okay.
Even I know they don't say that anymore.
Speaking of Nerds Clothing,
Mm-hmm.
so guess what? Congratulations. We've reached 1,000 followers on our Instagram page at the Mixed Tag Show, right?
Yep.
So thank you guys for supporting us and liking our content. Try to be creative with the different clips that resonate to people, right?
Yeah, definitely try to be unique and
right.
Our own little platform.
Yeah.
We have some more stuff coming to you guys. We have more ideas circulating.
That. Yeah, we'll mention that in a second. But yeah, we just try to be a little bit creative, things that resonate to wrestling fans that, different clips or what have you that you remember, right? So, again, shout out to you guys. So, on that note, since we reached 1,000 followers on Instagram, we're going to do a giveaway.
Really?
Nice. So, we linked up with Nerds Clothing.
Shout out to Nerds.
We don't know how many winners we're going to have, but whatever shirts, you might get a few shirts or what have you, depending on your size, but how is the contest going to work?
You tell me.
I don't know. You came up with the idea.
No, you came up with the idea.
I didn't come up with the idea.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. Do you want to show people our text messages or?
Yeah, I had an idea, and you added on to it. And
all right, so start off the idea, and I'll add to what I added to it.
So basically, you're going to have to watch our Instagram story because we're going to make an announcement on there of how you can win the T-shirts, and these are the rules.
What are the rules?
Didn't you say watch the Instagram story, like and follow the Mixed Tag Show? You
also mentioned before I said that, tell us what you like about our show.
Oh yeah,
that memory. I tell you,
sometimes.
Not sometimes.
My genius, man.
It really frustrates me.
So basically, what you have to do is
don't cut me off like that again.
So basically, what you have to do is go through any of the shows, anything that popped out that was one of your favorites, and Instagram story yourself watching it and tag us.
Well, I'll have to Instagram story yourself. Less is more.
So how are we going to know they're going to share it with us?
You said we'll announce it on the Instagram story.
Okay, you're confused.
I'm confused?
Yeah, you're confused.
How am I confused?
You're all the way confused.
How am I confused?
Because what I said was, now that I remember, is that we would say, hey guys, send us an Instagram story of your favorite, of you listening or watching your favorite part of our show and tag us to it. and we could pick the winner.
You just said of yourself, right?
Talking to the people that's watching our Instagram story.
That person would post themselves on what they like of the show.
Like not themselves. Even if it's audio, post the audio.
Okay, but see now you just switched it because you just said
them
of themselves.
It's still them posting themselves of audio or video of what
That doesn't make sense. So that means of them watching or listening to the show. Because you just said post your favorite part of our show to your Instagram and tag us. That's what you said. So there's two different things. So I wasn't confused. I'm never confused.
You're always confused.
Nope, not confused.
Yes, you are.
Nope. On that note, we will post it on our page as well.
Yeah.
Just to get the exact details correct. But on that note, look out for that giveaway because you should get quite a few things from us. So again, thank you. Speaking of Nerds Clothing, you can find their shirts on
the WWE shop.
Boom. Shout out to the WWE shop. They sent you this nice iconic shirt. You're repping for the women. I'm repping the Man of the Week.
Sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
Iconic.
I am repping the Man of the Week, Roman Reigns. So shout out to the WWE shop for always lacing us with fly new gear. You can support us and get your own shirts. Where?
At the WWE shop, where you click on the link in the description below. Or you can go to our Instagram at The Mixed Tag Show or our own personal at Blue Magic Grind or Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE. And click on the WWE shop link and make your purchase and send us coins our way.
Some coins, some pennies.
We need money making sound like Okada.
There you go. So what else? There's something else that we have. Oh, you know what? Before you even get into that, shout out to Peter A.
Don't
was
cut
on his.
me off.
I'll cut you off
Don't
whenever
cut
I
me
want.
off.
I cut you off whenever I want because I cut you. Damn it. What do you think this is? I'm the boss. Yeah, where is it?
Boss time.
Anyway, shout out to Peter
Don't cut
A.
me off.
shout out to Peter A. He invited me along with his brother Smiley on his podcast. Remember we did that a few months ago. He wanted to do a women's kind of special thing, so yeah, Miss Jenna Baby on there.
How was it? Had fun?
I had fun. It was nice having a conversation about wrestling because typically, as much as we bump heads, we do agree a lot.
Right.
And me and Peter tend to disagree a lot. So it was nice to have a debate on a lot of the conversations that we had or topics that we discuss. So it should come out later this week, Friday, I guess.
I have an idea for us to conflict more, but we'll discuss that later.
Okay, well, I definitely want to have him on the show soon.
Yeah, shout out to Peter A. That's two on his side. We own one or two.
Yeah, so definitely in the near future, look out for Peter A. We'll have a nice little conversation. We haven't had guests in a minute since the Jobbers, so.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So, yeah, go ahead. Go to your great idea.
So I had a great idea. So you know how we always tell you guys that
we need coins, we need money.
We need coins, we need money. This studio ain't cheap. Look at the mic.
Right.
Look at the footage. They got TVs in the background.
Start using.
These kind of are not our max. I'm kidding. these are ours. But this is not cheap. So for you guys that are,
this is Mike, man. He let me borrow it.
Right. Yeah. Right. For our lovely listeners that like to support the Mixed Tag Show, we have started a Patreon page. A Patreon change. What is Patreon? What is that? So basically what you can do is we have 3 different subscriptions to our show, plus extra content on the back end side. And basically you choose what fits your pocket, pay monthly. And we give
so tired.
And we give you some extra footage of us. And we have different things. We also have goals.
Yes.
So every time we hit a goal, like when we reach a certain amount of Patreons, we do certain things. I know one of them is she gets to put me in a sharpshooter for like a minute.
I don't know if did we decide on sharpshooter or did we decided what?
It says sharpshooter. It's already in there. You said sharpshooter. You said yes.
Well, I didn't say sharpshooter, but I just agreed.
Yeah. So.
But wasn't it essentially?
That's one of them.
Okay, I'm gonna let this is your thing.
Basically, Patreon has. You'll see it. Depends on what you pick.
He's the boss this time.
It depends what you pick. You see what you get.
He's the boss this time.
That's right.
Yeah.
Boss time.
So yeah, on Patreon you pick what you get. You'll see the list and everything like that. That's a lot.
And actually, right, since we're gonna do predictions, We wanted to make it fun, so we'll leave it up to you guys. Whoever has the most or the most correct predictions has to obviously. The loser has to do something, right?
Yep.
So we'll leave it up to you guys.
If you pick that Patreon tier, so it depends what you pick. So watch what you.
Yeah, but be easy. I'm a fragile girl, so be easy.
You still owe me one, but I don't know if I want to do the same thing anymore because I kind of feel bad. So
it's absolutely a wrap for that.
I'll find something else.
I definitely won't do that anymore.
I'll find something else.
Yeah. So Evolution is this Sunday.
Yeah, but don't you want to go into fantasy draft?
I have Evolution first.
Oh, plans for Evolution. I see that there. Got it. Those are trying to jump into predictions. Go ahead.
Yep. Nope. Evolution is this Sunday on the WWE Network for $9.99. You can watch it, right?
Yep. You also can subscribe to our link too. Just put it out there.
So. Put it out there. Yes, but Evolution is this Sunday. Are you excited?
No.
I'm excited.
I'm here and there.
I'm excited. My friends are coming out to support women's wrestling. I know the card is questionable. We'll get into that in regards to predictions, but
I'm going Dolo.
It's always exciting. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the only reason I'm going now is just for whatever we're going for, our private
and to watch the show.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm excited for that. But yeah.
I'm so. Oh, you want me to applaud?
No, fantasy update.
Huh?
Fantasy update. Look at your screen.
I see fantasy update. That's usually your.
Yeah, but I've been talking most of the time. And
that never stopped you before.
I know you felt some type of way, so go ahead.
So this week on Fantasy Draft, we have a new update, and this week the winner is Knight Riders.
The man's Astro, he was stressed.
Can't say we rigged now, buddy.
He was stressed, but he won this week. Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins definitely helped him out.
Yeah, he came out with 236 points. And then New Generation X came behind that with 201. Pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
And then TK Crew surprised the week with 151 points.
Did he surprise the week? He's been doing consistently well.
Yeah, really? Yeah, he has. I see the points now. Okay. Well, yeah. So then Rich Fam is down to 128. Followed by Evolution with 78 points. Undisputed Nation of Domination with 50. And my homeboy, Petty Club Worldwide, had a very, very, very bad week with 44 points.
So the new leader in the overall fantasy draft is Knight Riders again with 1,875 points. Next up is TK Crew with 1,771 points. Petty Club Worldwide is now back to third place with 1716.5. Then we have New Generation X at 1,324. Evolution at 844 points. Undisputed Nation of Domination at 831 points. And Rich Fam Kev.
575.
Boom. Let's get into Raw. You want me started since you always say it's my show?
It's your show.
All right. So Raw started off very unpredictable and unfortunate circumstances.
Right.
Roman Reigns started the show and announced to the WWE Universe that he has leukemia.
Yeah.
He's had it for the past 11 years. He was diagnosed at 22, and it's been in remission. And unfortunately, it has came back.
Right.
Your thoughts?
When it was reported earlier that day that he wouldn't make Crown Jewel because he was injured of an injury. So I kind of was like, okay. So what happened? So when he came out, I'm like, all right, tell us what's wrong. He's going to be out for a while. Didn't expect this.
I don't think anyone expected that.
He broke character and everything and, introduced Joe and what he's been going through and what he's going to have to battle. Felt bad. As a person that lost somebody to a disease, it kind of hit home a bit. And I think it hit home for a lot of people because cancer, leukemia is not something small feat. But again, he's beaten it, and I have faith that he'll beat it again. Throughout the week, I had an issue with a lot of people talking in terms of like the wrestling groups and on Twitter, what have you, people saying, oh, but you usually boo him, but now you want to cheer him. Understand that this is two different things. There's a person and there's a character. And on this show, I know I said this multiple times, I'm booing the character and the writing storyline behind it, not the person, because the person has nothing to do with the other. It's reality. It's not real to me. You know what I'm saying? So for people to think, oh, you was booing him and now you want to show your appreciation, he's supposed to been get it. No.
But let me ask you, you refuse to wear a Roman shirt. Would you wear a Roman shirt now?
No, because then that's hypocritical because that's still the character. Like, I'm supporting Joe.
Okay.
Like, the person that plays the character, I support that person.
Okay.
Like, that's that. I'm not running now going.
But you, like literally refuse to wear, like,
I'll say this. If they come out with a Roman shirt that's supporting what he's going through and it's going to go towards helping him pay for it,
okay.
I'm going to purchase the shirt.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
okay. I just want just to keep that same energy.
Right, yeah. Okay. I'm not going to say, oh, now I'm going to run around with waving the Roman flag because that's a character that I was never behind, so why would I act like I'm behind it now?
Right.
But as a person, I could differentiate the two.
Okay.
So that's why I put the post up and everybody was like, my friends was like, yo, I didn't expect you to do that. I'm like, but it's it's real life. Like, what you want me to do? Like, I'm not, no.
So my thing is, I agree in the sense of it hit home. It was a humbling experience, and not to make it about me or make it about you. It is about Roman. But me and you, we complain just our day-to-day lives. How we want to be somewhere, or this, we don't like this. And then even last week, right, when I was going through asthma and allergies, it becomes so much smaller when you realize, damn, someone that's close to age to us, right? I'm in my late 20s, early 30s. We're in the same, essentially, age bracket.
Right.
That could easily be one of us, right?
Right.
And to know that someone, like, and I said this to quite a few people, and I put this on my Instagram post. And I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way, but this was the person, if it had to happen, unfortunately, this is the perfect person to put their story out there. Not, I don't want to say that it happened to, but the perfect person. Why? Because since Roman was deemed to be the top guy, he's gotten flack from essentially everybody, because he was pushed, he's boring, he's this, that, and third. And day in and day out, for 4 years or however long, he's gone out there with a smile on his face, performed for superstars even when we didn't deserve it, right? Mm-hmm. And I say we as a total fan base. And he constantly was the constant professional and entertainer, right? So that you have to be strong for that. Because imagine you're a good-ass guy and people don't respect that. Yes, I understand you're mature enough to realize there's the character and then there's Joe.
Right.
A lot of people don't.
Yeah, I've come across a lot of stupid posters like
that.
Right,
just in general, in the day and age that we live in, social media, people hide behind screens. They want to talk all that mess, but they're not about it if they're in front of you, right? He's endured that, right? So he's strong, right?
Right.
So I'm not worried for him. You know, it's an unfortunate situation, but Roman's gonna beat that, or Joe, he's gonna beat that.
Right.
He's coming back next year and he's gonna kill it. And you know, people who are suffering need someone like him to look up to.
Right.
And I wholeheartely believe that.
Yeah.
You know, I've always been a fan of Roman. I was even looking like back in 2014, I said, yo, he has a future. I've always genuinely believed he is talented. Yes, I understand the push may not have been fair.
Right.
But for me, he's backed it up. And he's grown over the years. I've said that numerous of times. And it's unfortunate now that he's sick that some people are like, want to be hypocritical, right?
Right.
But that's not the point. We do wish him a speedy recovery. We know he's going to kill it, and our prayers goes out to him and his family.
Yeah, I seen a report earlier today. Specialists are saying that this kind of disease, it takes about 2-3 years. So it's going to be a nice, long...
No, it's not going to be long because he's going to beat it.
Yeah, no, he's going to beat it. I'm just saying that 2 years is not a short time. But, again, I have faith that he's going to beat it. If anybody, he beat it once, he's going to beat it again.
Well, and also, one of my friends actually sent me something about the therapy. Mm-hmm. It takes about 3 to 4 weeks in regards to go through the therapy.
Right.
And, you know, I don't want us to put a timetable and then get people's hopes up or expect that this is going to happen. We're not doctors, right? But Who knows? I'm not saying he's going to beat it in a day, and you're not saying it's going to take whatever, but I'm pretty sure, especially now where he's at in life, he'll have the best medical help.
Right.
And he's in great shape, and the support of his family, and again, and just prayer works. So
exactly. Overall, we know that he'll be back.
Yeah. The big dog, he's going to be back on top, and you're going to be hating, like typically.
As always.
And we'll continue our debates about him.
Right. And connecting still to the whole Roman thing, Paul Heyman also delivered, first of all, Joe delivered an awesome promo and dealing with the crowd, because I also heard from the live people that was there live, there was still people that was booing after he made the announcement. So that's just to show you how ignorant some people are.
Well, I mean, and we discussed it too. That promo was fire.
Right.
Right. And again, like you said, we said it came from the heart.
Right.
And I don't think people realize that they blind hatred hides the fact that he is good at what he does, right? As long as you don't give him some stupid scripted, like most of them, I felt that. And I think everyone felt that. Obviously, you had the ignorant people, but that was about swinging for the fences,
right.
choking up, that analogy.
Right. Yeah, we've said this. Me and you both said that when he's had been able to have a chance to say what he wants to say without being written for, he does pretty well on promo.
That was his best promo, and I think that's and I'm not saying it's just because he's sick or whatever. I think that's one of the better promos I've heard in years.
Right. So connecting to promos, Paul Heyman also delivered a heartfelt promo for Roman. I didn't expect to see that.
I was confused at first because I'm like, yo, is he really gonna get in go storyline and say something crazy? Because it's WWE
and he's from ECW, so
it's all bets are off, right? So I was just like, but it was dope to see
as he was talking and easing into it. I was like, wow,
yeah,
it was one of those moments, and then finding a way to transfer that into the storyline of.
And it just shows that Paul Heyman is a master at what he does, right?
Right. So
not so many people can do that.
Not really. So now we have a vacant title. So Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman.
What do you think about that?
At Crown Jewel. I have a feeling Brock is going to win it back.
I'm really scared about that, to be honest with you. I think Roman was doing a pretty damn good job as the champion. And we're just going to revert back to just not seeing this title.
I disagree on that aspect, but we'll get more into that later.
What do you mean?
When we talk about Dean and Seth, it's all connected in my mind. Trust me, I got a point.
Okay.
But then we had McIntyre, Claymore, Braun. How you feel about that two feud?
Well, I mean, it was already kind of known that Drew was going to make his way into this conversation, so it was a good look. What do you think?
I'm excited for this. But by doing that, they made Braun face again.
But now you lost your top baby face. Well, you have to do what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have 3 heels fighting.
Yeah, but I don't think it's just too... It could have been done a little bit more easier as opposed to just to flip a switch like they do it.
But essentially...
Because you know what it reminded me of? Big Show. That's what they do with Big Show all the time.
No, but in the circumstances, you had no choice. You really had no choice.
Yeah, but
especially when the show was next week.
I understand that, but you can still ease it in because Brock is not really face or heel because he gets cheered or booed or whatever.
Nah, I mean, he was working as a heel.
Yeah, but he still get my thing is he's a tweener. It's like
he's not a tweener. He's a heel.
He doesn't get booed. Just like
correct. I mean, at the end of the day, you can't control how people react to you, but essentially his promos is heel promos, and I mean by Paul Heyman, and the whole thing of him not showing up, that whole thing with Heyman and him when he was choking Paul out, that's not him being a tweener. That was him being a heel, being like, F this company, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, screw you.
So what is your definition of a tweener?
A tweener is that you pan to both the crowd, but still do heelish things. He has not done anything face-like. So
what do you call Becky Lynch?
She's a tweener.
Why? She disrespects the crowd?
No, she hasn't. She disrespected the crowd once. She said, you guys wasn't for me, whatever. Then WWE changed that when they realized that her reactions have been positive. To when she was on Lillian Garcia's podcast, she said, And when they try to make me a heel, it was like the fans were like, "Come on, Becky, we've been behind you." So that's why I'm not full blown heel.
Right, and that's in my argument for Brock is that one day when he did all that stuff with Paul, it all turned out to be a setup anyway. So you can't really count the things he did with Paul.
So that's a heel. So,
but it was like, no, to me it's a tweener because whether he does heelish stuff or not, he still get cheered.
But that's it. The reaction of the crowd is irrelevant. His actions is that's heel. There's nothing about that's him being a tweener.
When he performs, he could care less either way.
But what has he done so a tweener is you're in between a heel and a face. What has he done that's been face?
When they say one more time, he gives them one more time. Suplex City, it's not a heelish move.
He's not. He's definitely not a tweener.
I
think your definition of being a tweener is off.
If anybody else think the same way, that I'm wrong, but I think he's a tweener. So my thing is that you could let Braun go into that the way he is, and then after that happened, slowly bring him back to face. But to have it flipped over just like they did, it's like it's a Big Show move.
Nah, it's not like Big Show.
It's a flip of a switch all of a sudden.
But but the same thing happened in the next segment that we're going to discuss. We're going to discuss Elias. That was a flip of a switch. Sometimes it happens. You have to do things like that.
The only reason why I take Elias a little bit better is because at least he had an interaction with another heel, which was like, nah, you trying to disrespect me on my own stage. Braun just came out.
And had an interaction with a heel, which is Paul Heyman.
No, it was not the same thing. It was two different things. Paul doing a promo, he's not going to fight Braun. He's like, yo, I don't care what
But he's the advocate of Brock Lesnar.
But Paul Heyman didn't. We said what Braun came out, said what he said, and did his catchphrases, get these hands, and then turn around to a Claymore, as opposed to where Elias was doing his thing. Baron cut him off. He ignored Baron. They had an interaction. Just because he ignored Paul Heyman, just because he interrupted Paul Heyman, that's not an interaction. He interrupted Paul Heyman and spoke by himself.
Okay.
Like, there's a difference between those two. There's not a difference between those two interactions. But
you just said that's not an interaction. Now, if there's a difference of interaction,
no,
but you just said that
it wasn't an interaction. To me, it's not interaction.
That is an interaction. He
cut him off. When I say it's not interaction, it's like it's not a back and forth interaction between them.
But it's not what you say. What being interaction is that you're conversing amongst each other. It doesn't have to be a war of words, but if you're conversing or you're dealing with each other, so, that's interaction.
Okay, so poor use of word, not interaction, but it wasn't like it was a back and forth where it led to that. Where as opposed to the interaction that Elias and Baron Corbin had, it led to it.
There's history behind it, so they just picked up where they left off.
Who?
Heyman, Lenzer, Strowman.
To me, that Strowman thing was just a flip of a switch, in my opinion.
I don't think it was. So, next segment, Elias, right? So, you feel that this was not so much of a flip of a switch.
It wasn't, because, again...
I think the zipper, pinched me. Sorry. Okay.
So, it wasn't because Baron Corbin came out, interrupted him after he beat Apollo Crews, that could have been used for a double flip if they really wanted to. That could have been a double turn right there. But they didn't use that. They used Baron Corbin, and Elias ended up hitting Corbin with the guitar. How do you feel about this switch?
I like it. Elias hasn't really done anything. The crowd is over.
Dropping mixtapes.
So he's over with the crowd. So it's just like it really makes sense to make him a babyface.
So after that, we had the.
What did you think about it?
Like I said, I liked it. Elias needed something different. Like you said, they lost Roman. They needed to fill in some gaps. Elias was a good choice. I just wish that they would have did it differently, where they had Elias and Apollo do a double turn.
So your definition before this turn, Elias was what?
He was a heel.
But he's panned to the crowd.
He used them, but he was a heel.
See, but now you see the reason why I asked you that, because it can't be okay. He's a heel. You have to be firm on what your definition of a heel, tweener, and a face is. Because if when Elias comes out and he does his whole thing and he goes, what does WWE stands for? And the crowd says it, and he does it again to for them to say it louder, right? He's panning to the crowd.
Right.
So then, by your definition, he's a tweener.
Yeah, you're right. He is a tweener.
He's not a tweener, though. That's the thing. He's not a tweener. He's not.
I'm joking. Nah, he's definitely a heel. It's just, in my opinion, it's just different because Brock he pops up, he does what he wants. He doesn't care if he gets booed or cheered. To me, that's a tweener. You don't care if you get booed or cheered. That's a tweener.
Okay. Contract signing between Nikki Bella and Ronda Rousey.
This was different because they didn't actually get fight or nothing.
Did you like it?
Yeah, this is very well.
I'm very surprised.
So apparently, Paul Heyman's been helping Ronda with her promos.
Well, we were going to discuss that in Hot Topics.
My bad.
Mr.
Well,
Big Mouth.
it's right here. What you want me to do? I'm
I
sorry.
mean, it doesn't say Paul Heyman's name is not there.
What I'm saying is, her
Spoiler
promo,
alert.
Her promo. So this is why.
Spoiler alert.
So, but yeah. So I'm not surprised. I'm surprised it came from her. Listening to, I was like, yo, this is actually good.
Yeah, I'm invested into this feud. I'm not gonna even lie. I like Ronda. I know you feel a certain way about her, but you can't front and say as soon as she's from when she stepped in for Royal Rumble and it was that whole awkward point.
She definitely got better in the mic.
As soon as she got not even just in the mic, just her presence in the WWE. She went from from Royal Rumble. The point, it was awkward. It was made fun of, right? She knocked the ball out of the park with the WrestleMania match, right? She's fumbled with promos, but has gotten progressively better, and we'll talk about it more later.
Sorry, I just got the notes. I didn't get a chance to scan it.
Well, I mean, we already discussed this. You can see it wasn't anyway. Anyway, on that note, I just feel like Ronda's improved. I don't necessarily like that her and the Bellas have been placed before other superstars, but I'm on board. And Nikki's been killing it on the mic. Brie is just
she's just there.
Just be in the background,
She's just there.
But Nikki, I feel, has killed it, and I'm actually very excited for not so much the match. I'm just invested in the feud because I know this match is not going to be good. I might be surprised. I was surprised about how this is going, so who knows? But I'm more excited for the feud than the actual match.
I mean, I'm not as excited as you are, I guess. I'm not going to say that it's bad. It's just that, like I said, to me, my whole idea of Evolution was tarred, so I got that chip on my shoulder.
Would you make this the main event?
It's going to be the main event. But
Would you make this the main event?
No.
Why not?
Because Charlotte and Becky is going to give you all the same feels, and it's a last woman standings match. So that should definitely close out.
The turn heard around the world. So after winning the tag team titles in an emotional main event, Dean Ambrose attacked Seth Rollins. And it wasn't an attack. It was a brutal attack. You thought it was stupid. I thought this was amazing. Go off.
Yeah, I think this was stupid for multiple reasons. First of all, it was just because I get it. It was a good cheap heat for Dean because what happened in the start of the show with Roman. And it's how can you do this in the same night? You heard somebody in the crowd say this. How could you do this tonight? And I get it. It's a cheap heat. The reason I don't like it is because, one, of the night that it did happen, I'm not too big of playing off stuff like that because it's a little bit too serious. I get it. The show goes on, and most likely Roman would have signed off on it. But to me, it's just you had that moment on the stage between the Shield. Seth literally in tears. You seen Dean can't even control his tears when he's doing the interview and coming down the steps. Because apparently, not only the thing with Roman, he probably didn't want to turn that night right then and there. You know what I'm saying? All that plays into it. So it's kind of so now you're putting the company before a lot of people's feelings. And I get it, it's a business, what have you. But I just feel like you could have did this next week and it would have had the same impact. Not the same impact as terms because it's the same night as when Roman went away. But he would have still got heat for it. Two, I don't like the fact that they let them win the tag team titles, because now you have the Universal title is vacant. You have the IC title on Seth. Now you have the tag team titles on Dean and Seth. So now you have 4 titles that was basically in one storyline up in the air. IC title not so much because you know they end up fighting for the IC title regardless. But the tag team titles is up in the air because clearly Dean on the team with Seth. They could have easily just, if they wouldn't have had that turn happen, they could have just easily still had McIntyre run off by Braun. They could have had Dean throw the ref in the ring, and before the ref count to 3, pull Seth off and do the turn, and let Ziggler and McIntyre hold the title until you figure out what you're gonna do with the title.
Okay, before I give my opinion and why I disagree with what you're saying, how do you rate Raw?
I give it an A.
Why do you rate it an A?
Because it had, like, from the beginning to the end, it had a nice feel to it.
There you go. You said from beginning to end. Another question. Years from now, when it's all said and done, and we talk about the Shield, and we're actually going to talk about that later at the end of the show, what are the moments you're going to remember from the Shield?
I'm going to remember when Seth turned. Remember when Dean turned.
There you go.
I remember the Roman thing.
You're not going to... So, there you go. Those are going to be your top moments that you remember.
Right.
When you became a WWE, WWF fan, or just wrestling fan in general, it was either because of a specific, not specific.
I said specific. You gotta hear
superstar that you remember, or it's a moment that you were like, "What the f is this?"
Right.
Right. That's one of these. That turn is that moment, right? Like you said, Roman is well aware of this is the business. That's his bloodline, right?
Right.
They know that Vince is going to use whatever, he's going to push the envelope just a little bit, right? That's how I became a wrestling fan. I turned into the Attitude Era, and I was like, "What's this? This is crazy," right?
Right.
We just said last week, right? We have not been interested in wrestling, not wrestling, but just WWE in general. This was that moment. That moment, it played off emotions. That's what WWE used to do. It was just always shock value, right? This was that, So, and on top of that, so not only was it shock value, it caused a reaction. It gave Raw a high rating from our followers since it had in weeks, right? This is the name of the business, right? And like you said, Roman would have signed off on it. He was probably like, "Oh, really?" Like he's probably there's something for him to keep, to be invested in while he's recovering, or Joe, excuse me, while he's recovering, right? This was perfect. This just adds another element to the Shield story. This was amazing, and now it only is gonna have you next week like, "Yo, what is Dean gonna say?" Because we all knew Dean was gonna turn, right? So it was predictable that he was gonna turn eventually, but it was like, okay, he's probably gonna do it here. He's gonna probably do it then. This was unexpected. Some people thought it might happen. They're sick if they thought that was gonna happen, because I didn't think that would happen. It was unpredictable, unexpected. I genuinely have not been this excited. Like, I enjoy doing this podcast, right? But I have not been excited to talk about a topic in a long time. And this segment, this episode, did that. So I don't think it was stupid by it. It made me feel like, damn, Vince is back to his old self. Push the envelope a little bit, right? And the irony is, the show is PG, right?
Right.
This wasn't PG. This was like a hint of TV-14, just because of the whole shock value thing, right? Just like, this man had cancer, and then you just went and flipped it on us, and he attacked him. It wasn't even just like, okay, I'm a kick you. I'm sorry, I literally did kick you.
Yeah, you was doing it anyway.
Relax. It wasn't like I'm gonna kick you or whatever, and I'm gonna walk away from you. He beat him up, right? And it's so many questions for me, at least. It's like, yo, Renee Young broke character too earlier in the show, right? When she mentioned her husband, right? And then it's just like, what is this retaliation from when Seth turned? Is it because you're tired of cleaning up the mess? Like, what is it? I'm genuinely interested to see what happens next Monday.
Yeah, I know what they're gonna. I'm pretty sure they're gonna go with the whole Roman's not here to save you anymore. Because you notice every time it was a conflict, Roman was always the one that, even when Seth turned, it was always Roman in the middle, like, no, guys, we can't do this. He was always the voice of reasoning. I get what you're saying. Like I said, doesn't mean my opinion is right or wrong. I'm just saying for me, like, and I don't know if people that said the same thing. It's just, that's not something you, when you used to have Shaq value back in the day, when you used to watch it, they didn't use these kind of antics. It was.
But you didn't have. When have you ever heard that?
I know.
A top performer has a disease like this.
I get it. And that's fine, but to me, it could have been more creative. Like, again,
that was absolutely creative.
I think they should have waited until next week. Like I said, I'm not right or wrong. Everybody has a personal
no,
feeling. It was a shock value. Like I said,
I'm not saying you're right. I'm not saying you're right or wrong. I'm not saying I'm right
dope.
or wrong. But
it was a dope thing. It was a dope turn. I'm not taking away from the turn. It was a dope turn. I just wish that it was held off for another week because you could have still ride off that whole. We're here for Roman. We're gonna do this for Roman, then flip next week.
Time heals all wounds, right? Obviously, we're not gonna get over the fact that Roman is sick. But it's not. How can I put this?
I know what you mean.
It's emotional. It's in the moment. You have to strike then. Again, you became a wrestling fan. I became a wrestling fan. I'm pretty sure all those people that became wrestling fans, it was because of a specific superstar. Wow, I say it right now, or just a moment that had them like, yo, what? This is crazy, or just a move that happened in a match. It spoke to people. And you won't ever forget this. And like you just said, that's going to be, when it's all said and done, when we talk about the Shield, this is going to be that moment that you discuss.
And if it had next week, if it would happen next week, it would have still been a moment I remembered because.
But it won't have the same effect. You know it won't have that same effect.
It wouldn't. You're right. It wouldn't. It's not going to have the same nuclear heat that it had on Monday. But
that exactly. Keyword, nuclear, right? Like. Again, this is a company that has been very safe with their superstars and storylines and what have you. This is the first time in a long time that they pushed the envelope, which is what we've been wanting. No, you can't have it be like, oh, I hate WWE, but like, oh, I'm not interested. This is boring. Raw is boring. All these different weeks, blah 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 blah. And then when you get that, you have an issue with it. Like you said. They can't win with you people.
It's not about you can't win with you people because this is a personal thing. I just didn't like the fact they used it on the same night when Roman had to do what he had to do. That's just a personal thing. That's what I said. I'm right or wrong.
I'm not saying you're right or wrong.
I'm just saying in general. Like, it's not right because I'm right or wrong. It's just that I felt it was too personal of a night to do it then. That's just me.
I mean, he put it out there. He's an entertainer. He works for the WWE. Everything is off. For that matter, Nikki... and her situation with John Cena is a private matter, but it was put out there.
But
right?
That happened months later. That's my thing.
But it's still a personal matter. It's the same situation if you know what I mean? If they did something effed up with the fact that he has leukemia, right? You're going to basically say, wow, that's really effed up that they said something along those lines.
That's why I said they could have used this next week. The same day is my problem. Having it happen in the same day within that same time frame is my problem. If they did this on next Monday, I would have had no problem with this.
Yeah, but clearly it worked because you rated it high, the viewers rated it high, and it gave us something to talk about.
Even if that turn didn't happen, I would have still gave it an A because to me it was a decent show. I still was riding off emotion because you could tell everybody had to fight through to get through the night, and they put extra work into everything they did that night. I still would have gave it an A, honestly.
So you're saying this whole moment did nothing for you?
I didn't say it didn't do nothing.
So because you said you still would have gave it an A, but this definitely made it. For me, it wasn't an A plus because some of the matches were trash and boring, but this definitely I was like, I don't know about Raw. Like, yeah, besides Roman. But after that pushed it way high for me.
Nah, I was rocking with Raw. Raw was pretty good, from my opinion, before it happened. So, is
this turn similar to DIY?
It seems like it's kind of similar, right? Like your best friend turning on you, like when just looking at the lowest or your highest, because that's what happened, right? They lost. They was at their lowest, and they was leaving together, and all of a sudden, Ciampa turned on him. Yeah,
but we had no clue that he was turning.
Nobody had no clue that Ciampa was going to turn either. He's been teasing it for a very long time. He was teasing
That's what I said. We had no clue that Ciampa was turning.
Right.
Ciampa was turning. We had an idea that Dean was turning.
Oh no, we had an idea Ciampa was turning.
I didn't.
It was teased for like 6 when they had the
yes,
Classics.
Yes.
When they lost the title the first time.
Yes.
Like,
you're right. But again, from this situation with the whole Roman being sick and what have you, I don't see it as being a similar situation. But we've talked about it for way too long.
Right.
SmackDown Live.
So SmackDown Live. Wait, first of all, what did the people rate it?
You said like
Raw. No, you said what did I rate it? What did the people rate it?
An A.
Okay.
So for SmackDown, the people rated SmackDown. What was it? A C?
A C plus.
C plus. What did you think about SmackDown?
SmackDown. It was there live. I feel like whenever you go to live events like this, like Raw and SmackDown, you don't get the same feel as when you.
Specific.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's just I'm thinking about how I messed up.
You don't get the same feel as when you watch it on TV. Remember that time we watched that? Was it with you when I seen that? We was watching that Sasha and Asuka match. I wasn't with you. Was I?
You saw that live?
Yeah.
You did? Well, how come I didn't go?
I don't think I knew you then.
Sasha and Asuka, that happened this year?
Yeah. Was it this year?
Well, you knew me. Oh, yes. You know why? Because it happened after Royal Rumble.
Okay, so y'all was in Philly.
We knew each other.
Yeah. So when we watched it live, it seemed kind of weird. But then when we got back to our
when you actually watched it,
we watched it. It was a dope match.
Yeah,
because it's rest breaks, and while it goes to commercials, we're sitting there watching a rest hold for like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah,
so it's like it takes out from the crowd, and we gotta be brought back in. Yeah. So I gotta watch SmackDown again to really get the feel of it. But being there, it didn't seem like anything special.
Yeah. So my one issue, that's why I didn't know what to pick out in regards for us to discuss.
Well, Raw had enough for us, so.
But for the one thing that did piss me off was, again, not to take away from everything that happened with Roman, but SmackDown is a different show, right? You touch on it, whatever. Evolution is Sunday. Let's not forget that,
Right.
And again, I'm not saying anything about Roman situation, but that took away from the fact that Evolution is on Sunday, and then the whole controversy with Crown Jewel and what have you, where it's going to be at, and this and that and third has taken away from SmackDown. So I mean Evolution. So when I see I hate when they do, like, when there's a battle royal, they're gonna simulate that battle royal.
I said that to random, like, yo.
Like, what that does nothing for anybody. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I don't know.
I mean, they did play the video package for Charlotte and Becky.
But they wasn't even they weren't even there though
on the show. Yeah,
like how let me get emotionally involved to it. Let them be there. Like, she did a promo backstage or whatever, but I'm like, yo.
I don't think they did a promo backstage. That's what I'm saying, that we need to watch the show. I have a feeling they probably played it off as, because what happened at NXT, that they asked them not to be in the same building so it won't happen again. That's what I'm saying, like, but play to the storyline.
Well, again, but for that matter, you only showed Charlotte. Becky didn't show up on the show.
Was that recorded or was
it was recorded, but regardless, the NXT thing was dope as hell.
Yeah.
But okay, Charlotte says her piece, Becky says her piece, or whatever. You know what would have been even more dope? Had Charlotte's talking or whatever, and Becky comes and attacks her, just randomly finds out where she's at and just attacks her. That'd been even more dope. But whatever. I didn't think SmackDown was that great. I rated it, I think, like a C minus.
Yeah, I can't rate it. Again, I want to watch it. Every time I do the events, unless it's like NXT, because that just draws you in.
You gravitate to it, yeah.
But live events like Raw and SmackDown, I gotta.
Speaking of NXT, there was just a very small video package for the NXT Women's Championship. Reason why I wanted to discuss that Evolution is this Sunday, and even on Triple H's show,
right?
I just feel like, okay, is this match happening?
It's one of those things where with Shayna Baszler and Kairi Sane, it's like, what more can you do with it? And then two, this is what I was worried about, is that now that you take out the NXT women out of it, it's hard to play to it on NXT. Because what more can that's why I was like, what more can Kairi Sane and Shayna Baszler do to each other that they haven't been doing for the past?
I mean, there's a lot.
7 months.
You put them on the show, right? You have to squeeze them in somewhere. It's the first ever women's pay-per-view. It's a championship match. You have to squeeze them in somewhere.
I think it's also have to do with taping. They probably because again they taped this months ago, and not having a card set.
Okay, I can see that.
Like it didn't. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can see that. Mia Yim debuts. What did you think about her match?
It was pretty good. She had a nice match with Aaliyah.
She was over.
Oh yeah, she's over now. Yeah. She's over.
It was Chance guy.
That's why she got signed.
Yeah. No, but it's just like, it's funny because when we first started watching NXT, you didn't know certain people, right? So, not to say that her being over wasn't organic, but we had to grow with certain like superstars. With her, a lot of people are familiar with her, so it was just like instantly you're behind it. So, but I thought it was cool though, especially again being a woman, and the crowd was so behind her. So I'm very excited to see what they have in store for her.
Yeah, me too. I agree.
No, what?
I was gonna say it's been like that I feel like with NXT ever since they started signing these big people. Like when the Adam Coles and the Shayna Baszlers, and it kind of took away from the "I gotta grow with you" thing.
Exactly.
And it's like, yo, I already know who you are.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
Kylie O'Reilly, you know them guys. Like I already know who you guys are. Like
exactly.
It kind of took away from it for a while now.
Exactly, but it's still exciting to see these different superstars come to the company. Another exciting superstar, Bianca Belair.
Your homegirl.
Homegirl.
EST.
I don't understand what they're doing with her. Like
she's gonna get her push soon. They just want to get the Shayna Baszler thing out the way so Shayna could go up and do the whole Force Woman.
Which is funny. I read somewhere that someone predicted Shayna to actually defeat Kyrie. TBH.
I don't know about that.
I don't agree with that, but I just found that an interesting opinion or prediction in regards to that.
Yeah, I don't know about that. They got to get ready for Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, whatever they plan to do.
So Johnny Gargano revealed that he is indeed Alistair's attacker.
You were right.
I was right. What do you think?
It's pretty good, but now it brings to what I said when you said that was your prediction. So now, just like Ciampa tweeted, now Ciampa and Gargano are basically kind of on the same side because they're both heels now.
Yeah.
So it kind of takes away from that rivalry now.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean, well, I don't know. We'll see.
Because Candice LeRae was, I guess, like turned heel with him, I think, or something like that.
Well, we'll see. I don't think their story is done. Just the way the match ended at TakeOver. So we'll see.
They probably turn this around and one of those can't beat him, join him kind of thing. Like,
and maybe it's that type of situation, and then Johnny turns on him again after.
That would be dope,
right? Just because, like, I didn't forget what you did.
Right.
What did you think of NXT? What did you rate it? I know we didn't ask the people, but
I gave it like a good B. It was a good, solid show.
It was a good show, and it was better than the past few weeks.
Because some of our favorites came up. Undisputed. We seen, Velveteen Dream. We seen Aleister Black, Johnny Gargano, Mia Yim.
Yes. So the big show is this Sunday again. Evolution. We gotta put it over because if no one else is gonna put it.
You said big show. I was like, what? He turned face again?
He turned face again. Evolution. Let's get into our predictions because we're gonna do the whole Patreon thing. Whoever wins between us two, we'll do a crazy bet or whatever. For the Battle Royal,
Battle Royal, I got Amber Moon.
Okay.
Who you got?
I have two people.
You can pick one.
I understand, but I'm going to tell you I have two people, and then we're going to go with the person I'm going with. I'm going to go with Ember Moon as well. Crazy me. I know you're going to probably be like, what? But I was kind of low-key looking at Dana Brooke.
She needs it.
She needs it. A couple of times they've been trying to push her, So, but let's move on. 6-women tag team match. Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Natalya versus the Riot Squad. Who do you have?
I'm going to put my hopes out there and say Riot Squad via Sasha Banks' turn.
Wow, I like that.
I'm going to put my feelings out there for this one.
I like that.
This is the time to do it.
Go ahead. Ooh, that's good booking.
Exactly.
I like that. My heart tells me that the Riot Squad is going to win and should win just because they've been taking a lot of L's.
A lot too many.
Just more so on like pay-per-views and stuff, they take L's. But then I also think about like Sasha just came back.
Right.
She took the L on what's it called on Monday.
Yeah, usually it's the flip on.
Exactly, and I feel like since she just came back, you want to get her momentum going. So I'm gonna be delusional and select Boston Hug and Natalia, just so it can give us something different.
Boss Hug and pause.
Boom. So I'm gonna do Boston Hug, and you got Riot Squad, right?
Yep.
NXT UK Women's Championship.
I say Rhea Ripley retains.
I say the same. Damn, I guess we're not gonna. It's not gonna be too different.
Mae Young Classics.
Tony Storm.
I'm only gonna say Tony Storm because I feel like Io Shirai it's a good chance for she win, but I think that they might just give it to Tony Storm because a lot of people feel like Tony Storm should have won the last one.
Yeah.
She didn't win the last one because they couldn't sign her. So
Right.
now that they got her signed, I think they're just gonna give it to her.
Shayna Baszler versus.
Wait, come out. No, I take it back.
Okay.
Io Shirai.
All right.
Because the winner gets a shot at the NXT title, and I think Tony Storm is going to go over the UK
Okay.
division. So
I'm going to go with Tony just because I feel like her momentum's big, and it's a good look that she's the Mae Young Classic Finals winner, and that just makes her case that she should go for the UK title, right?
right.
So
You're planning that they switch it from the NXT to UK?
yeah,
Okay.
we'll see. Especially if she wins, right? Because she's on that brand.
Right.
NXT Women's Championship.
Kyrie retains.
Kyrie retains. SmackDown Women's Champion. I know this is tough.
My heart is telling me Becky Lynch, but my mind is telling me Charlotte Flair is going to pull this out somehow.
Yes, I agree. Damn, we agree too much.
I'm trying to think. Oh my God.
It's just Becky's been one-upping her
That's what I'm saying.
all the time.
Exactly. Like I feel like this is gonna be the slip up right here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Becky.
Let's go. I'm gonna go with Becky too.
I'm going with
Becky,
man.
Her reign is new. She's been killing it. Why would you take the title off of her?
Right.
What is it?
The fans are with her.
What where do they go if Charlotte retains? Takes the title.
I might have to go Charlotte.
Why?
Because it would give her nuclear heat if she really beat Becky again. And it just might fully turn her. Because she's not working as a face. I'm going to go Charlotte.
You're going to go Charlotte. You're changing your pick?
Yeah.
Charlotte. Okay.
Punch it in.
Alexa Bliss and Mickie James versus Trish Stratus and Lita.
Type it in. I don't want you to forget.
Okay.
Charlotte. Punch it in.
Punching it in. I'm going to stick with Becky. All right. So go ahead.
I'm going to go with the Legends.
I am too. Damn, Blue. Stop copying me, son.
I'm going first, so you're copying me.
I'm not copying you. I'm better. Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. That's rude.
I'm used to it.
I know. All right. So we're going to both go with them. Raw Women's... Ronda Rousey. I'm going to answer for both of us. Ronda Rousey.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
So since Evolution is this Sunday again, we're going to have a little discussion. We've been talking about it for the past couple of weeks that we would discuss this.
Right.
Who is the greatest woman wrestler?
Currently of all time?
My answer is going to be for one person, but go ahead. You can do both if you want.
I can't say all time just because I really want to sit down and really think before I make that decision.
Okay.
Currently, yes, I'll go with Sasha Banks.
In regards, now, I didn't specify if this was for WWE or just in.
There's not enough. I haven't watched enough promotions to like.
Okay, so let's keep it to WWE.
Yeah.
That's coming into that company.
Yeah, I'll go Sasha.
Why?
Because to me, when she's a heel, she can talk on them like she needs to.
Mm-hmm.
She could wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
She gives the best bout matches
Yeah.
to anybody,
Yeah.
from Nia Jax to Charlotte to Bayley to Becky, you name it.
Yeah.
Their best matches with Sasha Banks.
Right.
And I feel like that's what WWE does. When they need the best match out of someone, they pair him with Sasha Banks
Mm-hmm.
just to prove that point. But she's never the one that they push like they should.
Right.
And even Ric Flair compared it to Ricky Steamboat.
Right.
So, like, to me, it's Sasha Banks. I told you, me and my friends had this conversation at one of the pay-per-views when we were just sitting there during one of the sleeper matches and, like, top 10. And we all put Sasha 1 and 2. And 2 is Asuka, in our opinion.
Right.
And those could flip-flop, but to me, it's Sasha Banks.
But why would you consider and think that in regards to Asuka, it flip-flops? In what sense?
Because Asuka's just as great in the ring.
Right.
She's a ring general as well. She knows what she's doing. When they allow her to do what she needs to do, look how she carried the NXT title. She's to me, in my opinion, even though Sasha Banks is the best wrestler in my opinion, Asuka's the best women's NXT women's champion.
Yeah. I agree. I can agree with that.
So, that's why we flip-flop it 1 and 2 whenever we talk.
Right. All time.
I gotta sit
you
there
have to
and
sit,
sit
you
and think about it because it's like I gotta watch Jacqueline, Jackaline's the same person. Jazz.
Well, I'm just thinking.
Karma.
I'm just thinking in the sense of the total package, right? We discussed that about just giving people their best matches, being able to speak on the mic, just overall performances and accolades, and on top of that, just popularity-wise, right?
Right.
Because we can talk about a lot of, like, for the male wrestlers that they're good technical wrestlers, but they're just boring, right? We talk about, for example, Cedric Alexander, right?
Right.
A phenomenal wrestler. Like, just in-ring ability is amazing.
Right.
But for the overall package, it's not it, right? And that's how I feel with Sasha. She's the overall package. But I can understand what you're saying with Asuka. So, which is funny, I was like, Sasha's like my absolute choice. But I can see what you're saying in regards to Asuka. I'm just thinking maybe crossover appeal.
Yeah, that's the reason why I sit and think about the all time. Because what it is that back then, Jackie and all these people that I named, Ivory and those people, didn't get a chance to talk on the mic.
They did, but they didn't really have the time to just showcase their ability.
And it wasn't really put in forefront in terms of like, hey, let's use them to sponsor this and that and the third like they do today. Because there's so much with social media.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
because you think about it, if they put Sasha back then when there's no social media and they didn't push women like that, would we really know how great Sasha was?
That's true. That's a very good. That's a very good point. But then you also have, like, when you look at Trish and Lita, how would you rate them, right?
Because to me, Trish didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. Did Trish do Playboy? I know Sable did. I know Chyna did.
I don't think she did. I
know Miss Kitty did. But I can't remember if Trish did it or not.
I don't think she did. I don't recall. I'll look up. But what's your point in regards to that?
But that's the thing. Like, the ones that we feel like are our favorites from that period of time was because they used a lot of their sex appeal to sell.
Yeah.
Because the Jackie and Jazz and all of them, Ivory, Molly Holly, they wasn't doing bra and panty matches.
Yeah, but there was a couple of times, especially Jacqueline came out.
Yeah, they had. Well, yeah.
Yeah, but you had to keep up,
right? Right, exactly.
So
that's like
the reason why I brought it up not only because Evolution is this Sunday. I feel like I really work for the WWE. I just keep plugging it in. Evolution is this Sunday.
We need a bigger check than these WWE shops, but
don't.
Okay.
Wow, be careful. Be careful.
I just fixed my mic.
No, I'm just saying, be careful with the stuff that you say. Anyway, because the reason why I brought this up because I forget where this actually came from, and I'm looking it up right now. But in regards to single matches, like the top, let me see, I have it right here. The top 20 single matches that's like high rated.
I've seen that.
Sasha Banks is in
9.
You count? It's 9.
Yep.
How many Asukas in?
I didn't count Asuka.
So hold on, I'll tell you right now. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You said Sasha, and then for Asuka, she's in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. She's in 7. Sasha and Asuka make up
That's what I'm saying,
the top 20 rated women's matches in the WWE.
Like, come on.
So, you know what I mean? So when people say this, like, Charlotte's the best and this person is the best, but, like...
They buying into what they're selling them.
Exactly. And that's unfortunate because, again, when you see certain people kill it. You know, speaking of, like, a lot of people are thinking Asuka's going to win the Battle Royal. And I'm like, but for what?
She did it already.
She did it already, right? It just looks stupid. And then for her to lose again?
Yeah, I think it's going to build up to that thing with Asuka. I think it's going to build up to a feud with Naomi, which we need.
I would love that. Asuka's aggressive. Naomi, I think she did well as a women's champion.
She did.
Especially when she was the top baby face for SmackDown in regards to the women.
Right.
And this is a great chemistry between the two. I think that I like that.
I seen the exchange they had on the Mixed Match Challenge.
Yeah, you were telling me that.
Yeah, they had a pretty dope one where the fans were even like standing ovation.
Yeah.
So.
Really? Damn, we missed that.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, it was a nice little conversation. Yeah. Well, let's hurry up because
we're running these times down.
Alexa Bliss is possibly injured again. She suffered it's been reported that she suffered a concussion during the live event in Haverford. So now it's up in the air if she may participate in this tag team against Trish and Lita. What do you think?
I don't think she's going to participate. I think this is why they set up with Alicia Fox doing a jump in.
Yeah.
Just to cover that, just in case. And I think we've seen a report that she may not be there at all. Mm-hmm. Not able to compete. But I did want to do a quick shout out to CMA, one of our followers on Twitter, because they actually tweeted us DM'd us that during Raw. And then 15 minutes later was when everybody reported like she got a concussion during the show. So shout out to
he's a
CMA.
really, really, really big Alexa Bliss supporter and always got the inside scoop. So it was definitely appreciated, the conversation about her. That's unfortunate because, you know, again, regardless of being a big fan or not, she is a woman and she's a key player in the division, right? That sucks, especially when it went from Trish versus Alexa to now not having her at all.
Right.
I hope that she can recover in time by Sunday. Just again, like, she's not our favorite, but
you don't want to see nobody get hurt. Like, that's not the
it's
cool
not even
thing.
it's not that you don't want to see anyone get hurt. This is the first ever women's pay-per-view against and no shade to Alicia Fox, but it's just like, you get what I'm saying? That's not what was hyped up. So hopefully she is cleared by then.
And this is also, like, I know it's not put here, it's also my fear with Ronda. This is twice now with the same person. And I'm pretty sure Alicia felt some type of way. She probably felt some...
And then even remember Nia was gone. I don't know if Ronda was the cause for Nia being gone, but soon after that match, Nia was gone.
Right, so...
But again, work in progress. Another person that is injured and may be out for a while is Kevin Owens. So he could be out for the rest of the year. Or he can, if it's more serious than that, it could be 8 months.
Again, we don't like to see anybody get hurt, but I think this is good for Kevin Owens.
So we spoke about it, the promo earlier in regards to Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella. Paul Heyman helped Ronda cut her promo against her.
Yeah.
So and it showed her confidence. It was a personal attack. It wasn't like too scripted. It was just like it came from the heart or what have you. And I don't know if you've been noticing the social media exchange between the two. Calling each other the B word. Bless you.
Thank you.
Next time you should probably sneeze that way. Just now it probably looks weird.
I have my mouth covered like this though.
So. No, I bet you people can see the nasty little stuff
flying in the air.
So anyway, they had a nice little exchange on social media, which that's also got me invested because I like that. I like that you're invested into it, what you're doing. So I'm not going to just keep it on TV. I'm going to play it up to it on our accounts and go in, right? So I think that's cool. And Paul actually helped Nikki as well with her rebuttal.
Yeah, I'm seeing that more with the wrestlers, too, using Twitter as a place to continue their feud. I was wondering why Heyman was backstage. It kind of makes you wonder if Heyman was supposed to come out and cut that promo to begin with.
But you remember when we discussed who would be the next person for Paul, and I said Ronda, you didn't want that, but it helped. It helped.
Yeah, I'm selfish with Paul. So
Okay.
According to Dave Meltzer, ticket prices soar after Ronda Rousey versus Nikki Bella was confirmed. Evolution is expected to sell out.
Nice. According to Robbie Fox of Barstool Sports, John Cena and Daniel Bryan refusing to work the pay-per-view.
Crown Jewel.
Yes. Speaking of Crown Jewel, it's being reported that they are switching the event to the United States, and the venue will be held in Albany, New York.
I'm not surprised by that. Last week I said maybe that's why they stopped saying Saudi Arabia so they could call this audible.
What did they stop calling it?
Saudi Arabia.
Okay, you said it kind of weird.
That's fast.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's good, right?
Are we going to Albany?
I'm 2.5 hours away from Albany.
So that makes me 3.5 hours away.
If they keep it to a Friday, I wouldn't mind going. TBH.
It's on a Friday.
Well, originally it was a Friday because of it was in Saudi.
Maybe.
I'm not going.
Ticket prices can't be crazy because now you got to drop tickets 7 days out.
That's another thing, and it's in Albany too. It's not New York City. It's
right.
Just,
it's a drive. And
exactly.
It can be for everybody.
So speaking of Charlotte Flair, we spoke about last week how her ex-husband was trying to, sue her for defamation. Apparently, there are some damaging evidence that could harm Charlotte. It should harm Charlotte. I don't know. But according to Ringside News, Charlotte's ex-husband states in the lawsuit that from the dash cam footage, Charlotte was actually the aggressor towards the officers, and that she made some disparaging and racist comments to the African American community in Chapel Hill, North Carolina. How do you feel?
I hate to jump guns. So, but this is very interesting because then how does WWE place this if this is really true? This is one of your top women that you pushed.
Yeah.
And this is kind of why it's bad to have your eggs all in one basket.
Correct.
Not taking anything from Joe. That's kind of how I felt with Roman.
Yeah.
Like you put all your eggs in one basket, and now you have to call immediate audible when you make stuff like, oh, Elias and Braun gotta go face right away.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you didn't have that.
Yeah.
Triple H went down. Austin, Rock carried on. Triple H came back. Continue on.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting how they play this out.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's disappointing if that is indeed true, just because a lot of people of color look up to Charlotte, and again, whatever, when we're in the comforts of our own homes or amongst people, we might say things that are not politically correct.
Yeah, nobody's innocent of that.
But regardless, that's unfortunate, especially when I don't know how long ago this was. I don't know if this was when she was Charlotte Flair or she was just Ashley.
No, she wasn't Charlotte yet.
So, whatever. I don't know, but you have to have that same energy. If you suspended or had banned Hulk Hogan for all those years, you have to have the same energy.
Yeah, you can't back out.
Yeah, especially when it's something like that.
You're all in.
Right. You're all in. So, our last hot topic, WWE issues a statement in regards to Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns announced that he is relinquishing the WWE Universal Championship.
I didn't get that page.
Okay. Championship and taking leave of absence from WWE as he once again fights leukemia, which had been in remission since late 2008. Reigns is taking his battle with leukemia public and is an effort to raise awareness and funds for research in order to advance cures for the disease. End quote. The backstage mood, a lot of wrestlers and just people in general had no idea. Maybe they said that his inner circle was aware, but it was kept as a surprise.
You can tell even the announcers probably didn't know, because just when you seen Corey Graves break down, and you seen Renee break character, and you can just see Michael Cole a little shaking.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to play that there.
It's okay.
But it was just, you can tell it was one of those things where it was keep close to the vest. Yeah.
So on that note, our final discussion question is, with all this, the reason why I asked this question, so does the Shield's legacy fall short? The reason why I ask that, because every time it seems like the Shield is supposed to go somewhere with a storyline, something happens. We saw a few months ago last year, right, when Roman got sick. But I forget what it was.
Dean got hurt.
No, Roman and Bray got sick. It was
Yeah.
I forget what exactly they got sick with, but that cut their whole thing short with Survivor Series. Then Dean got hurt. And it just seems like every time they getting ready to take it to a certain level, it falls short.
Right.
So does this hurt their legacy? Like when we look back at it, and obviously we know the Shield is great. They'll probably go in as Hall of Famers as a unit, as a stable. But does it hurt their legacy?
Yeah.
Right.
Because I feel like unless we get that final climax, like that everybody was expecting, all three of them headlining WrestleMania for the title, it falls short because it's always that build, and then we had to pull back for some reason.
Right.
The build, and we had to pull back for some reason.
Right.
Unfortunately, this one is one of those major reasons that hurt all of us. So it kind of hurt their legacy because now do we look at the Dean and Seth feud as a Shield rivalry? Do we?
Oh, you're asking me. It's
I'm
not
just
a
saying
rhetorical question.
No, it is. Like, it's for you and anybody else. Do we still see this as a Shield rivalry? Because it's missing Roman. Because Roman has to play a part, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Because even when Seth turned, all three played a part.
They did, but also I felt like it was Dean that took it personal. Like, Roman did too when Seth turned, but I felt like it affected Dean more.
Yeah, but they followed it up with the cash-in.
Right. So, but that's what I'm saying. When you mentioned the point about all three of them were included, yes, I'm aware of that, but I felt like Dean, out of everyone, was affected more. And maybe that might play into it, right? Because you remember when Seth came back and he was a face and he tried to get in the good graces of Roman and Dean. Dean was just like, I'm not really with you just yet, but Roman accepted it. And then eventually Dean came along. This was whatever. What was that, a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
Or a year or so ago? Whatever. I don't remember. So I feel like that there's that personal history between those two. Out of the three, it's between Dean and Seth more than Roman and Seth and what have you.
That's because they always have that. They always were closer. Because if you remember when they first was created, Roman was placed in last.
Yeah.
And then two, Dean and Seth did Independence together.
Yeah.
So they always had that connection. So they're always going to play
Have that personal right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Is it because this is now outside of the Shield? So now that they do it, do we still look at it as a Shield, or is it still that personal?
I think it's still, we look at it as the Shield because they're Shield brothers, right? I think it tarnished their legacy slightly as well because, again, it's just every time we're expecting this really, really big, epic storyline, or not even finale, just
not finale, but like the climax,
and it falls short because of whatever reason, and it had a lot to do with just health reasons. But I know we'll eventually get the Seth, Dean, and Roman story, but it's just we have to go on a roller coaster or like climb a mountain to get to that point.
Climb Mount Everest,
basically, to get to that point. But I think that's our show.
Yeah, I think that is our show. We did pretty well at time.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna go on forever.
Nah, we're pros now. We got it.
Mike is like, get out of here.
I'm ready to go.
Jeez. Yeah.
Don't forget we got that 1K giveaway.
Yes, shout out to Nerds Clothing for helping us with this. And look out for
official ruling after me and her discuss after the show to iron it out for you guys.
And look out for our Patreon stuff.
Yeah, that's another announcement we're going to make. Well, not announcement, but post, whatever.
Yes. And yeah, thank you for listening and watching our show. You can follow us at the Mixed Tag Show, or you can follow our personal pages at
Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE,
or at
Blue Magic Grind, spelled how it sound.
Boom.
And click on our WWE shop links in our descriptions.
And purchase.
And bio. And purchase something, not just click on it. We need you to buy something so we get coins.
So let's do the Shield. We're going to do the Shield. This for Roman?
Can I still do my good night and goodbye, though?
Sure. Well,
after the bang.
On a serious note, though, again, we want to send our prayers and well wishes to Roman Reigns, aka Joe.
Yeah.
Can't wait to have you back.
Yeah, I also want to say he got a lot of love from the wrestling community, not just in WWE,
but just in general.
Just in general, from Tama Tonga, Break character,
yeah.
Ciampa Break's character, New Japan, Kenny Omega. So
yeah, New Japan. So he has a whole lot of support that's help behind him. So we know he'll recover.
And on that note, I bid you adieu. Goodbye. Mwah. And good night.
The big dog.
It's the Mixed Tag Show.
The Mixed Tag Show.
With Jenna.
And Blue.
Damn.